Welcome, listener, in the shadows. We bring stories into the light. Join me as we explore the encounters no one speaks of and the things that watch from the dark. Before we dive into tonight's terrifying tale, a quick question. Do you dare wear the fear? Our exclusive Shadows merch is here. Hoodies, tees, and more, designed for those who embrace the darkness. Get yours before they vanish forever. Link below. The Town Below Our Town, an investigation. October 3, 2022, location. Anders Ferry, WV Room 6, Hollow Pines Motel, log start. 9:42 p.m. Typed journal entry, audio recorder synced. Subject, initial contact plus personal notes. The drive into Anders Ferry took longer than it should have. Mountain roads always do something strange to time, especially this deep into West Virginia. GPS sputtered the moment I left the interstate. I had to rely on a paper atlas and muscle memory from older field jobs. Fitting, I guess. Paper doesn't vanish when the sky clouds up. This is my first solo assignment since 2017, and the first one since the Bureau restructured. They're calling it a legacy topograph review. What that really means is, go dig up something weird we didn't finish mapping during the Cold War. The anomaly was flagged decades ago during a series of spy balloon flyovers, part of the Echo Grid initiative, something cooked up between DARPA and the Geological Survey back when the US was paranoid enough to photograph its own dirt just to see who might be living under it. The images showed something, a settlement, rough grid, hand-cut roads, 14 structures, no records, no foundations, just presence. They named the anomaly Anders Echo and then forgot about it. Until 2 months ago. One of our analysts was digitizing old flyover tapes when she noticed a town that shouldn't have been there. Not on any topographic register. But when she overlaid the image with a modern satellite map, the match was uncanny. Same grid, same ridgeline, same curvature of land. But the town on the balloon footage was older, like a blueprint, a fossil in the soil. I was assigned because I don't ask questions. I just draw the lines. The motel is small, a rust-washed sprawl of rooms along a sagging road. The desk clerk didn't even ask for my ID. Just handed me a key, muttered, "You're with the survey team, right?" and pointed to room 6. That's funny, because I am the survey team. There's no one else here. It's colder than I expected. October 4, 2022, location. Anders Ferry Town proper diner, Main Street, library archives, log start. 7:20 p.m. Typed journal entry, audio transcripts embedded below. This morning started ordinary. Fog peeled off the mountains like wet skin, burning off by the time I reached Main Street. The town has that shape by collapse feel to it, everything still standing, but only barely. You can always tell when a town has stopped evolving. Anders Ferry is held together by habit. I had breakfast at Me's diner. Greasy eggs, toast so white it looked colorized. I sat by the window and tried to review the satellite overlays, but the Wi-Fi was so slow I gave up. That's when I started asking around. Nobody knew what the Anders Echo anomaly was, but I didn't expect them to. That phrase only exists in a few dusty, declassified folders. What they did know were stories. They called it the Twin, the Shadow Town, Dead Anders, the Echo. It's all folklore, half-told jokes and half-drunk warnings. You get the sense people used to talk about it seriously, but somewhere along the way, they decided it was better to keep it as myth. That's what scares me. You don't joke about something unless it was once dangerous. Audio transcript, Me's Diner, 10:15 a.m. WLLIS, gravelly voice. Back when I was a boy, my uncle wandered down behind the old feeder line. Said he followed a coyote trail for damn near 2 hours. Came out at a place that looked just like this town, but empty. All the same buildings, but older. Wood slats instead of brick. Gas lights. When he came back, he didn't talk for 3 days. When he finally did, all he said was, "They knew I was new." Long pause. Then he died that night, in his sleep. Heart just stopped. Like he brought something back with him, and it got tired of waiting. Another woman, maybe in her late 60s, told me she sometimes dreams of waking up in the wrong version of her house, the one where the door's on the wrong wall. She laughs it off. but her hand trembled when she said it. I visited the Anders Ferry Community Library. One room, one volunteer, one overhead fan struggling against age. Asked to see old survey maps. The volunteer handed me a box labeled Early Settlements Unsorted. In it, a 1927 blueprint with two Anders ferries sketched over each other in red pencil. A land deed referencing Parcel B Lower Anders, dated 1891, with the note, Never CLAMED. A black and white photo of a church I haven't seen in town. Behind it mist, and what looks like another church, identical but distant, blurred. I asked the volunteer if she knew who drew those blueprints. She said, without looking up, "Oh, we don't lend those. Not since one of the boys took them home and came back with the wrong eyes." She never clarified. October 5, 2022, location, northern outskirts rail line path and grain silo, log start, 6:52 p.m., typed journal, bodycam footage reviewed, recorder transcript embedded. I spent most of today hiking the north perimeter of the town. I'm trying to triangulate the anomaly's likely ground point, assuming what the flyover caught wasn't a glitch or a misread. The strange thing is, every time I get close to the supposed coordinates, the forest seems to rearrange. I double-check the compass, my steps, everything. But the closer I get, the more the landscape folds in on itself. I started at the old rail line, which hasn't been active in decades. The rails are rusted, half swallowed by moss. I followed it northeast past the quarry, toward where the topographic markers showed the anomaly overlapping with undeveloped land. That's when the crows started to follow. Not many, 3, maybe 4. They didn't caw or flap around me like in movies. They just sat. One on a post, one on the rail, one in a dead tree, always just watching, changing places each time I glanced away, like they were keeping a kind of formation. Eventually, I found what must have been the trailhead, a stone post, half sunken, no plaque, a break in the ridgeline, a switchback barely wide enough for boots. It's not marked on any of the maps, not even the local hunting guides. Behind it stands a collapsed grain silo, moss-covered metal skin peeling back like a wound. There were symbols scratched into it, deep enough to catch rust, some sort of loop or mirrored letter. I traced one with my finger. It was warm. Bodycam transcript 3:12 p.m. Dorian. This wasn't on the grid. Feels too intentional. Wind shifts. Leaves stop moving. Dorian quieter. It's quiet. Where'd the birds go? Low static. Then faint humming, barely audible. Dorian. No, not yet. I stood at the threshold of that trail for 10 minutes, maybe more. Something inside me said that if I took one more step, I wouldn't be able to unsee whatever was waiting at the bottom. And yet, I already know I'm going back. Tomorrow, October 6, 2022, location, switchback trail below the grain silo, log start, 9:44 p.m. Audio plus bodycam transcript plus journal entry. I didn't sleep much last night. Every time I closed my eyes, I dreamt of architecture, hallways looping into basements, doors leading to identical doors. The kind of dream where you wake up tired and still inside it. The sky looked wrong this morning, like a faded photo from a postcard. Oversaturated blues, too flat. I packed light. Just essentials. Radio beacon, satellite map overlay printouts, a backup recorder, a small pack of water and glucose tablets. Didn't feel like food would matter down there. By 11:30 a.m., I was back at the grain silo. Same silence. No birds, just that sound when the world feels like it's holding its breath. Bodycam 11:37 a.m. Dorian to Mike. Beginning descent, coordinates locked, bearing 28.3 northeast. Switchbacks look old but not overgrown, as if recently used. Footsteps crunch gravel, wind stops, Dorian. Smell of iron faint, like rusted pipe water. Static begins, soft, rhythmic, in time with Dorian's steps. The trail didn't go where it should have. Topographically, I should have lost elevation gradually, maybe 300 feet across a half-mile. But by the third switchback, I was moving downward fast. The grade steepened unnaturally, and the air felt thicker, not humid, moory-like held, like the trail passed under something I couldn't see. Then the light began to change. At first I thought it was cloud cover, but no. The sun filtered in like it was moving behind me, like I'd turned directions without noticing. I checked the compass. The needle spun once, then corrected, then drifted again. Audio clip 12:05 p.m. Dorian. Heavier now. Gravity feels off. Legs are dragging. Faint metallic hum begins. Ambient, resonant. Dorian muttering. Feels like pressure behind the eyes, like a migraine before it starts. Something's here. Soft whisper picked up, voice unclear. One word. Repeat. And then the trees ended. Just like that, the switchback opened into a flat hollow. Everything below looked like Anders Ferry, but too early, like a town paused during construction. Buildings stood where they should be, but they were different, smaller, cruder, built with aged materials that hadn't aged yet. Wood slats, corrugated tin, a main street not yet paved, but it wasn't abandoned. There were details that screamed recency. A kettle sat on a stove inside what looked like the diner. Curtains shifted as if someone had just passed behind them. Shoe prints in the dirt, my size. I felt watched, but never saw a single soul. I walked Main Street slowly, recognized everything, but not how it should be. The motel where I'm staying, it's here too. Same number of rooms, same angled roof. But the paint's wrong. The sign says GUSDLODG. That's not a real word, is it? I pushed open the office door. It creaked just like mine does. Inside, the key rack was full. Every tag bore the same number. Room 6, that's my room. Audio recording, inside the twin motel office, 1:42 p.m. Dorian, low voice. I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be here. This is wrong. Wind through slats. Metal clanging in distance, patterned like Morse. Voice from recorder matching Dorian. Don't go back up. End clip. I don't remember leaving. The next thing I recall, I was standing halfway back up the trail, drenched in sweat. Scratches on my forearms I don't remember getting. A weight pressing behind my ribs like I'd swallowed something heavy. I checked the body cam. I'd been gone 3 hours, but there's 4 hours of footage. 1 hour is corrupted. Just static and shadows bending the wrong way. Journal note, tomorrow I return. I don't want to, but I need to. October 7, 2022, location, Anders Ferry surface, / return to Twin Town, log start. 6:16 a.m. Journal entry plus audio transcription. Didn't sleep. I tried. Twice. Both times I woke up on the floor of my motel room, arms curled around my boots like I'd been holding them in my sleep. My room key was on the desk when I woke up, room 6, but it wasn't on the nightstand where I left it. The motel office was dark when I went to check. Door locked from the inside. The owner's nowhere to be found. I walked the town to clear my head, or that's what I told myself. That's when I started noticing things out of place. The diner sign, once Darla's, now read Guestelodge Cafe. That wrong word again. The local library's book drop had an overdue notice addressed to Dorian Kestle. Postmarked 1983. I checked the general store. The clerk didn't blink when I asked about the silo. She just said, if you're headed back down, leave something behind. Otherwise, you bring too much of yourself. I left my compass on the counter and went back down. Bodycam log descent begins 10:14 a.m. The trail was different today, wider, as if it had accepted me. Where before there were jagged roots and loose shale, now the path was clear and strangely smooth, like the earth had made room for me. I walked faster than I should have. Felt like I was being led, pulled, not like last time. Audio 10:41 a.m. Dorian. I'm not in control of my feet. They're remembering a path I haven't walked. Whispers. Multiple voices. Some are Dorian's. Some are not. Welcome back. We knew you'd try again. What did you leave behind? The town was waiting. I don't mean that figuratively. The structures had moved. Where the post office was yesterday now stood a butcher. The streets weren't parallel anymore. They curved like ribs around something central I couldn't see. I walked into the motel again. Room 6 was unlocked this time. And inside, it was my room. The one I'd just come from. Down to the scuff on the headboard and the coffee stain on the desk. A small tape recorder sat on the pillow. It played a loop of my voice. We left him here before. We'll leave him again. Then a different voice. This town's built from what you forget. That's how it stays real. I went outside, tried to film the layout again. Every picture I took came out inverted, street names backward, cars on the wrong side. A frame caught the diner sign flickering between Darla's and Gestelodge, like it couldn't decide which reality it belonged to. And then I saw it, me, across the street, standing in the reflection of the general store window, just standing, watching, same clothes, same posture. But when I raised my hand, the reflection didn't. It just smiled. A wrong smile, thin, too wide. I dropped the camera. It kept recording. I have the audio. Audio 1:13 p.m. Dorian breathing hard. It's me. It's watching me, not a reflection. A version, whisper distant, but inside the mic's pickup range. You're walking over yourself. Again, again. Long silence. Then faint humming. A tune from childhood. Row, row, row your boat. I left. Ran, actually. All the way back up the trail. It felt longer than before. Like it didn't want me to leave this time. Back in Anders Ferry, 4:29 p.m. Locals stared when I emerged from the woods. One woman crossed herself. A child tugged at his father's hand and said, "Why is the map man wearing two shadows?" I looked. Just for a moment. He was right. For a second, just a flicker, my shadow split in two. Note to self. Something is using the town's shape as a blueprint for memory. Mine? Others? Don't know yet. Need to return with a voice recorder. Not just the body cam. Something about sound survives the shift. October 8, 2022. Location: Anders Ferry surface. / motel office, local archive. Log start. 7:02 a.m. Journal entry. The woman behind the motel front desk isn't the one who checked me in. I'm sure of that. Yesterday she was a redhead in her 50s. Polite. Called herself Marsha. Today it's a man in his 20s. Greasy ponytail. He says his name is Marsha too. Doesn't blink when I question it. Just hands me a key to room 8. I check the key. Brass. Same as yesterday. Still engraved with a 6. He insists it's an 8. Must be a misprint, he says, smiling like it's the most normal thing in the world. I took a walk through town before heading back to the silo path. I didn't get far. I passed the post office and the bulletin board outside had changed. New flyers. One advertising a missing person. Missing Dorian Kestle. Last seen October 7th, 1983. If found, please return to room 6 at the Gestelodge Motel. Reward offered, $0.00. He already belongs here. The photo is me, not like Mimi. Same jacket. Same haircut. Same tired eyes I saw in the mirror this morning. I tore it down. Another fluttered into place behind it. This one shows me standing outside the diner. Taken maybe 5 minutes ago. I haven't been to the diner today. Local archive, 9:14 a.m. I visited the Historical Society's archives. I told the librarian I was researching Cold War topography. She said nothing, just handed me a black folder without being asked. Inside, a topographic map dated 1962, unlabeled town, slightly southeast of Anders Ferry, the exact street grid of the twin town I walked through. There was a note clipped to it. You can't chart what remembers you back. No signature. Handwriting eerily similar to mine. Motel room, 12:41 p.m. Audio recording. Recorder clicks on. We hear breathing. Dorian's voice is hushed. Dorian. Room changed again. It's the same room. Loud. Furniture. But the window shows something else. A pause. A breeze brushes against the mic. Strange, since the window is closed. It's the twin town down there. The sun's in the wrong place. Everything's too still. But I'm seeing it from here. I never opened that window. It wasn't even there yesterday. And the TV's on now. TV static buzzes. Then a voice. A child's voice. TV. Tell him he was born here. Tell him we built this place around his name. Dorian breathes faster. Footsteps. His backing away. I left the room. I'm typing this from a bench in the town square. People keep looking at me like I've got spinach in my teeth. But it's not that. It's the way their gazes linger. Like they're trying to remember where they know me from. Town Library, 2:52 p.m. I asked about the Bureau of Geographic Anomalies. The librarian stared at me for a long time and finally whispered, "You already sent that report, years ago. You're back because it didn't stick." She handed me a book. Topological Lapses in Appalachian Surveying, published. 1986. Author, Dorian Kestle. I've never written a book in my life, but my name is inside. The dedication says, to the town that remembers me better than I do. DK end of day note. I'm afraid to sleep. I'm afraid I'll wake up in the wrong version of the world. Or the right one, I don't know anymore. What if I am the anomaly? What if the town never changed, but I did? Tomorrow I'll go back down. I'll find the core of it, the heart. Whatever this place is, it's calling me home. October 9, 2022. Location, Anders Ferry Library Motel Room. Log start, 6:47 a.m. Journal entry, I didn't go down today. Not because I'm afraid. Not exactly. There's something worse than fear beginning to stir in me, recognition. Like I'm reaching the edge of a memory I've spent my whole life keeping buried, and the moment I step back onto that trail, it'll come rushing in. Uninvited, hungry. Instead, I went back to the library. Anders Ferry Library, 9:13 a.m. The librarian, her name is Vera, had a stack waiting for me without a word. Yellowing manila folders, tied together with string. No call numbers, no barcodes, just a hand-lettered label on the top folder. IGRSSIONS, 1959-1997. Inside were field notes, transcriptions, maps, all from others. Explorers, surveyors, a few Park Service employees. People sent, like me, to verify a blip in the land. Most didn't make it back, or maybe they did, but not quite them anymore. Typed report, May 12, 1961. Author, Thomas Gilroy, Bureau of Terrain Calibration. The town was soft, not physically but topographically, like the roads rearranged behind me the moment I looked away. I marked trees, I dropped colored stones, but I'd turn a corner and they'd be at my feet again. The town doesn't want to be understood, it wants to be felt, and it feels wrong. My shoes don't match anymore. My shadow bends away from the sun. I left the site. I've been home for days, but my reflection still wears the wrong face. Partial audio transcript, October 3, 1984, Ranger WELLS, retired. Don't go looking for that place if you're the type that second-guesses yourself. It's like, it sniffs out your regrets, builds itself out of them. I saw my brother there. He's been dead 20 years. He was sweeping the porch of a house we never owned, said he was waiting for me to come home. Then he shut the door and I heard my voice from inside. I didn't knock. I ran. I still run. There were over a dozen more. Names I didn't recognize, but some I swear I've heard before, though I couldn't say where. And their writing. It's unnervingly similar. Syntax, word choice. One even ended a journal entry the same way I ended mine 2 days ago. Whatever this place is, it's calling me home. They couldn't have read my logs. They're sealed, secure. Unless we're all writing the same story on different loops. Or maybe we're not the authors at all. Motel room, 4:31 p.m. Audio recording. A storm rumbles faintly in the distance. Rain taps against the window, irregular and rhythmic like fingers. Dorian, I've been pacing the room for an hour. There's something inside the bathroom mirror, not behind it, in it. It doesn't move when I do. It just watches, same clothes, same face, but it doesn't breathe when I do. I asked it a question out loud. I said, "Why me?" It smiled, just slightly, and whispered something I couldn't hear. But the condensation on the glass spelled out, "Because you left us here." Silence. Breathing slows. Thunder rolls closer. End of day note. There's no doubt anymore. I wasn't the first. I won't be the last. This town, or memory of a town, has been pulling people into its orbit for decades. Maybe longer. Every few years, a new name, a new pair of boots on the trail, same outcome. Anders Ferry is a wound, an echo chamber, a place where the earth remembers too well. And now it remembers me. Tomorrow I go back down. And I pray it forgets me before I forget myself. October 10, 2022. Location, the hollow/mirror Anders. Log start, 7:04 a.m. Audio transcript. Dorian, the town has grown. I mean that literally. The motel is there now, where the old chapel used to be. The gas station is rusted shut, but it's mine. Even the spray paint I saw when I arrived, "Welcome back," is on the same pump, flaked away like it's been aging for decades. But the real kicker, I passed a boy on a tricycle, same red plastic helmet I wore when I was 6. He didn't look at me, but he knew I was watching. And then, static interference. Then a second voice, identical to Dorian's but whispered, "He'll never leave again." October 11, 2022, location, interior Kestle house, log start, 8:17 p.m., journal entry. I broke into a house that shouldn't exist. It was mine, my actual childhood home, every detail, the crooked stair railing, the kitchen with the mint green tiles Mom always hated, a dent in the drywall from when I was 11 and kicked it during an argument. It's all here, but aged, cracked, like it's been waiting. There were photographs too, me, at every age, but in none of them was I smiling. In one, I was standing beside my parents, except it wasn't them. Not quite. Close but off, smiles too wide, shadows too long. My mother's eyes were empty, blackened pits. My father's hand rested too tightly on my shoulder. In the photo, I was the only one who looked scared. October 12, 2022, location, Mira Anders Municipal Hall and beyond, log start, 9:32 a.m., audio recording partial. Dorian. The hall is older than it was yesterday. Same building, same burnt cedar trim, but the chairs are warped and cracked, mold on the curtains. A decaying bird in the ceiling rafters, motionless, but its shadow keeps flickering like it's still alive. Found a cabinet labeled Seismic and Memory ANOMALIES 1957 beneath a film reel projector that wasn't there the day before. Inside, hand-drawn maps, dozens, topographical charts riddled with notations in handwriting I recognized as my own, but each signed. DK, recovered. One had a note scrawled in red over the mountains near Anders Ferry. Keep the lid shut. If he climbs out, WE all remember. I followed the red ink coordinates, led me past the edge of the known hollow through brush and shale. Found a cellar door buried beneath ferns, padlocked shut with 3 rusted bolts. Not new, not recent. The lock was on the outside. I didn't open it, but I heard breathing behind it. Not animal, not mechanical, human, but wrong, too slow, too deep, like something learning how. October 13, 2022, location, Perimeter Ridge/Echo Trail, log start, 6:43 p.m., typed journal fragmented. I tried to ascend the ridge again today, followed the trail I came in on, marked my path, left a string of orange cloth tied around the pines. At some point, I noticed the string was ahead of me, already tied. Kept climbing anyway. 3 hours in, I saw smoke, thought maybe hikers, rescue even. But the smoke came from a chimney I knew too well. My childhood home again, perched on the edge of a cliff. Same as yesterday, but today the chimney was smoking. Inside, photographs I don't remember taking, Polaroids pinned to the walls. They showed me in places I've never been, yet. Sitting in a rocking chair, eating a meal of boiled eggs and canned peaches, writing this journal, each one dated for days ahead of today. One photo was marked October 16. My face was blurry, melting at the edges. The background was that cellar door. I looked behind me. There was no trail anymore. Only walls of trees pressed so close together I couldn't see daylight. I never turned around. I just kept walking forward until I ended up back in Anders Ferry. Only now it's getting warmer. That shouldn't happen this deep in the mountains. The air smells like burning pine needles and rotting citrus. It's becoming familiar. October 14, 2022, location, the Hollow's Heart, log start, 11:58 p.m. Journal entry, final full log before fragmentation. I haven't written in hours, or maybe days. The sun doesn't rise or set here anymore. It just wavers, like a memory trying to hold its shape. I went back to the town square. There's a new statue at the center of it. It's me, or close enough, eyes hollowed. One hand raised, holding a map. My map, same jacket, same recorder around the neck. Someone etched words at the base in an alphabet I don't recognize, but I understand what they mean. You must build the echo again. People walk these streets now, not many. Their faces blur when I look too closely. They hum songs I forgot I knew, and they all nod at me like they've been waiting, like they're relieved. At one point, I caught my reflection in the diner window again, but it wasn't my reflection. He smiled when I didn't. He raised his hand when mine stayed at my side. Then he mouthed the words, "We missed you, Dorian. The door to the cellar is open now. The breathing has stopped. Something wants me to go down there. And I think I already have." Epilogue note: unlabeled audio discovered Nov. 3rd, 2022. Static, shuffling footsteps. Then a voice: calm. Coordinates verified. Discrepancy logged. Subject file closed. Reintegration successful. Memory stabilized. "We remember you, Dorian. We remember all of you." A sound like paper folding, then silence. "You made it back for now. But the things in the dark never truly leave, do they? They watch, they wait, and perhaps they remember you now, too. If you want to hear more, if you dare to listen again, step back into the shadows. Like the video. Subscribe, but know this: some doors once opened do not close so easily.